आंधी आई जोर शोर से, डाली टूटी है जंकोर से, उड़ा घोंसला बेचारी का, किससे अपने अपनी बात कहेगी। अब ये चिड़िया कहाँ रहेगी, घर में पेड़ कहाँ से लाएं, कैसे ये घोंसला बनाए, कैसे फूटे अंडे जोड़े, किससे ये बात कहेगी, अब ये चिड़िया कहाँ रहेगी. These are the beautiful lines by Mahadevi Verma, one of my favorite poetess from Hindi. Good evening and welcome to Sheetalath Conversations. I heartily welcome everyone, all the esteemed viewers and followers and admirers of Sheetalath Conversation programs. And I think you all guys are here again on this. This is our 90th. Uh,
Live.
this is our 90th Renaissance show, and I feel always delighted, and I'm so always immensely joyed to see everyone this rendover together when all of you, along with me, along with a special guest, we join together and tell about the stories of the past, sunshine of the past, the ground of the past, of this wonderful part of our country known as Kashmir. It's this beautiful land. I truly and heartily appreciate your keen and benevolent attention and admiration of this mosaic of narratives, you know, drawn from the oxbows, those float around across perennially in continuum since centuries and millennia. This is a I think this is a great joy and experience that we have been doing, and 89 programs in different aspects and different shades we have been able to witness this program. To you, to your taste, to your admiration, to your likings. And I hope our guests are people of great integrity, value, and great backgrounds, and they are great public figures, artists, connoisseurs, and they come with a great vision, great anecdotes, stories of the past, and the things around. Uh, our conversations, they are decosating, this refreshing, rejuvenating, revealing, and evocative anecdotes drawn from the history, art, literature, musicology, culture, traditions, ancient wisdoms, modern legends, geniuses, icons, uh, the seasons, water bodies, flora and fauna, mountains, uh, structure, culture, folk memory, the treatises, the chronicles, about the travelers, travelogues, and travelers, and all wonderful aspects of this ecology, anthropology, architecture, archaeology, kingdoms, transitions, all the wonderful shades of bonhomie, brotherhood, you know, inter micro and macro social management, social interaction, and so many other wonderful folk stories, so on and so forth, which go on into this program in this part of this country, the beautiful part nestled in the lap of Himalayas. Having said that, I would like to say that I'm once again indebted to all the wonderful people, all the wonderful participants, all the wonderful viewers of this program for once again gluing in to this, this continuum chain of programs of conversations, known as Sheetalnath Conversations. And I think today, once again, I'm here with yet another wonderful show with yet another special guest. There's a great old saying that object of art is not to produce reality, but to create a reality of same intensity. It has been said by Alberto Giacometti. I think in art, especially in the Occidental as well as in the Oriental side, have been, developing parallelly. But since the world was not connected in those days, So we didn't mix until few years back, when the Western visitors came to this part of the country. Our visitors went to that part of the country. So these things happened, and we had a very very great school of arts in the Orient. Our art, Kashmir was a place through which this art went from here into the Central Asia and other parts of the country. We have people like Kumara Jivi, and then Nagarjuna. There are people from here who went, Sharangade, who went to the southern part of India, and he developed. I mean, he developed this Sangeet Ratnakar and other aspects of great aspects of grammatics and syntax of the music, and lot many arts are there. Explore it in the Tibetan civilization and Chinese civilization. You can find the Kashmiri art, the Indian art, which still persists iconography, in their geometry, in their art scene. And this has been so. But in the very, very recent times, before the modern times came in, a few centuries back, at the indigenous level also, we had the great painters in Kashmir who worked wonderfully in their own ways, in their own places, in their in their no in I mean, their paintings were not witnessed by a large audience, large spectators, large viewers, but they were somehow being appreciated by a closer circle of acquaintances and friends and relatives. But the revolution came in when the monarchy, in the Dogra monarchy, the first institute, the Amar Singh Technical Institute, came in, and the first galaxy of the people, the trailblazers, the pioneers, they came out, and they spread across the country, and they had an interaction with the external dimensions of the art, and they created a wonderful, wonderful name and art for themselves, for the onlookers across the globe. And people like Padam Shri Santosh Saab, Gulam Rasul Santosh Saab, they were all in our shows. There was a triad known as one of three pillar triad in Kashmir and Aisa movement. One was P.N. Kachru Saab. We had a program on him, and then we had S.K. Bhatt Saab, known as Van Gogh of Kashmir. We too had a program about him, about his art and work and life, by Avatar Motaji. And then we had many other people around. The third one, Mr. Jugal Koul, we said still I'm looking for having an interview with him. We had the art historian, from Ahmedabad University, great art historian from Ahmedabad University, Baroda University. And then we had Rajendra Tikku, the Padam Shri Rajendra Tikku also, and Kapil Kaul, who is into the West, and he has studied, and he's teaching and practicing his art over there. And not many people we had about the artists. We talked about Gulam Rasul Santosh. His son came in, and then we had the great painter of our times, the great landscape painter, watercolor painter of our times. That was Dinanath Wali Saab. Dinanath Wali Saab's son had come, and his paintings are ethereal. They tell about the saga, the joy, the bliss, the celebration of Kashmir's life. So that's how it is. So we have been very fortunate that we had brought out these great maestros into our show, especially the artists as well. Today, I'm going to talk about one of the great eminent artists of our country, who is a commercial and a professional artist, and has been practicing since 1962. A Lahore born and Delhi brought up, a Kashmiri origin, whose father, Khosa Saab, he was already an established painter of his, who painted. It is said that whose paintings were there about Gandhiji, life and times of Gandhiji. There were murals on the Palladium Theatre. You can see there were murals on the Palladium Theatre which were displaced. Those murals were basically, they were painted by the Somnath Khosa Sahab, father of Kashmiri Khosa Sahab. And then he had n number of photographs about Gandhiji, about his life and times, and many wonderful aspects about us. The Somnath Khosa Sahab. And we had he is also privileged to have a grandfather who was a saint, who left his home at a very young age and went to the Karnataka caves of Karnataka, and there he got salvation, and he reached to his own journey of realization. Swami Shambhunath Khosa Sahib. So he has that great legacy at his back. He's a personality who has I mean, exhibited, whose art is being exhibited across the globe in the prestigious galleries. It is into the National Art Gallery for Modern Art, Sahitya Kala Parishad, Lalit Kala Academy, Delhi School of Art, and numerous other the drawing rooms and murals of the great connoisseurs of art in Europe, in America, in Canada, in England, in Singapore, in Hong Kong, and Dubai. And his art, it is he has received President's Silver Plate in 1974 for his exuberance, for his brilliance of presentation of his art, uniqueness of his art. And he has received the National Award in 1981. He has been to the festivals of Sixth Babylon Festival, Sixth International Festival of Babylon in Iraq, and he has also been to Denmark and Germany, and did this stitching, cube, world village, in a camp as an artist. He attended out. It was a very very prestigious work which he's attended. His paintings and his philosophy has been recorded, has been documented in all the prestigious journals, art journals of India, and they have been recaptured and reproduced in the international, uh, international journal, graphic journal of Seoul, Korea. And also, this Tamino is one of the most wonderful and most acclaimed reviving, journal run from this, published from London. Uh, there are a number of occasions he has been to. His art is very popular, and it is known. He has probably seen the light of the art when he saw Van Gogh's painting somewhere, and then later on, because earlier he was assisting his great father Somnath Khosa Sahib, and then later on he understood his art, and he tried to reinvent himself, and then this whole process of discovering himself and then reflecting that in his art came. It took almost 10 to 20 years that he read all the Vedas and Upanishads, and there was a great film of 28 minutes made by Doordarshan. It was done on the World Channel and the this Prasar Bharati channel of Doordarshan. It gave detailed nuances about his art, his search for existentialism, his reflection of his art. His art, his art is in a great demand. It has been auctioned on the Ocean, Ocean auction house, and the Helpage India repeatedly, because his art is in great demand. Moment he sets on in his studio, which is set in this part of the Himalayas, in Himachal Pradesh, and where when he sets for a painting, you don't know maybe what time he takes, but all the people already start booking his painting. So much is he in demand, and so much is his the art which is being loved and admired by the people, the connoisseurs of art across the globe. And there are many things about him. So let's welcome him into the studio first. And Khosa Saab, namaskar. You are welcome into the
Namaskar,
90th
namaskar. Thank
90th.
you, thank you.
Yeah, you are welcome into the 90th show of Shitalath Conversations.
Thank you for calling me, giving me a chance to talk to you people. It is a great pleasure.
Thank you. Thank you very much. Khosa Saab, to begin with, in the first segment of the program, I think there's audio is low there, so I'm speaking a bit louder. In the first segment of our program, we take our guest to the Kashmir. You are a Kashmiri born in Lahore and brought up in Delhi, and your great father, who himself was a great painter, and grandfather who was a saint, and who was on a voyage of existentialism, voyage of higher self, searching himself, Tell us the stories of Kashmir vis-a-vis your grandfather and your father in the first segment, please.
Actually, when my father was just 8 years old,
Right, sir?
and that his father, that's my grandfather, uh,
Yes.
left the house. You see, actually, my grandfather, I think was a very much spiritually inclined person, and then he had some kind of a he had a feeling. He had a feeling that this world is useless, and to live in this world is useless, and like that. So
Okay.
he was basically very much spiritually inclined. And then in those days, I heard that he used to see different saints of Kashmir and all that. So one fun morning, he left my father. My father was just 8 years old, and he was missing for around 8 to 10 years. Then my father was just 8. When he became 15, 16 years old, then
Right.
he was very much interested in painting. I don't know whether it was inherent, or I don't know how. So he was very much interested in painting. Then he, in fact, took the admission of his own to Sir Amar Singh School. There used to be some kind of
Amar Singh
art
School.
college. There were British artists they're teaching there. So he joined that college known as Amar Singh Technical Institute or something.
Yeah,
That
yeah.
was in Srinagar those days. He learned art from there. And then, in fact, the family was very much against art those days because they was thinking that ये जो है, he's painter means painting walls. You see, those days there was no nothing like no encouragement to artists those days. So after doing his little training in technical institute, Amar Singh Technical Institute, he left Lahore. He left for Lahore. There he started. Those days, you see, in Lahore, there used to be some kind of film industry used to be there those days. So
Okay.
he started doing film holdings there.
Oh,
So he started doing big holdings there, and then he started his career from film holdings and things like that. And by, he joined a place known as Civil and Military Gazette. Used to be a newspaper those days of British. He became art director there. That he was art director of Civil and Military Gazette newspaper there in Lahore.
okay.
So I was my mother. I was born in fact in Lahore. My mother was Punjabi from Lahore, and
Okay.
before marriage of my father, he took my mother to Srinagar. That
Hmm.
he wanted to take the permission of grandmother and think his mother to that he wants to marry a non-Kashmiri girl. Then he was not allowed to do that. In the
Okay.
meanwhile, he had found that his father, that is Shamunath, he was
Shambhunath.
he was in Rishikesh those days, and from there he went to by the Swami he was taken to Hampi
Hampi.
cave
Caves. Yeah.
for further meditation and things like that. So those days when he had to marry, he knew that his father is in Hampi in South India. So he approached him that he wants to marry. Then he was called there with his wife, and my father and mother was married in those caves those days.
Oh,
And then after their marriage, they again came to Lahore. Then I was born. I was the first child who was born there. That is that. And then while he was doing holdings, film holdings of those days, uh, uh, that that very craze of art, and then looking at art, working how he was working, somehow went to the sanskaras went to my system. So that's why how I became artist. This is how it happened. So after that, when I was 6 year old, I came to Srinagar, and I lived in Srinagar hardly for 3 years, 2 or 3 years, and I was given admission. And there was a school. There was a school known as Mission School somewhere in Seventh Bridge. So
Fateh
I
Kadal.
had schooling there for 1 year, 1.5 years, something.
Fateh
Then
Kadal. Fateh
after,
Kadal.
yeah, yeah, after it's I'm talking of 1940, 46, 47. You see, after this, there was you see there was a restlessness and things like that, and then my father had to move back from leave Lahore and come back to Srinagar for 1 or 2 years, 3, 4 years, I think. Then what happened? Then he joined civilian military. No, he joined uh, 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 a cultural friend of Kashmir. You see, where he did work for them. He did a lot of posters, things like that. You know what? Like in 1940, in 1947, also a lot of Kashmiris left Kashmir. So we also left Kashmir for Delhi.
Okay.
So my whole education was in Delhi. My,
Okay.
I was given education in Delhi. The whole. Then I joined College of Art also. Actually, my grandmother was with me in Delhi, and my grandmother was very keen that I should not marry outside Kashmiris.
Okay.
She was very keen about that, and she never wanted to because my mother was Punjabi, so and she was very keen that I should marry a Kashmiri girl. Then I was made to marry at the age of 19, you see, and now I'm married to a Kashmiri woman, you see.
Array,
So
that's so great.
I was made to marry at 19. I was hardly 19 that time. Uh, 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 so that's how my life started. So I have not seen my grandfather. My grandfather, I was born immediately after my grandfather died. At the I think at the age of in 1939 or 38, my grandfather had expired in Hampi caves. You see, and then I was very keen to see Hampi caves, things like that. And when I was full-fledged artist and professional artist. So I was invited by a group of artists there to paint and things like that. And that time, uh, I saw that place is still there, and there's still a sculpture of my grandfather in black stone. And I met the people. There are two mountains. Uh, uh, they are beautiful mountains, and you have a lot of caves there, four,
This
five
is the
caves there,
this is
and
the
he's
statue.
painting there.
This is the statue of your grandfather.
Yeah, these statues are on the mountains of Hampi Caves. They
Okay.
call it. It's known as this place is known as Shumunath Guhe. Guhe means caves. So
Okay.
on those caves there are two mountains. On that mountains, in between those two mountains, there's this sculpture is there. So I met the people who own that area. I met those people also. They were very happy to meet me, and there are some sculptures of deities. And in the cave also, if you, I got a lot of photographs of those caves. There there is a Havan Kund in that cave. It's beautiful, beautiful. It has a natural light, and one can meditate, sit there, and it is still live. People go for pilgrimage. And
Okay.
one interesting thing I would like to tell you that in those days, big logs of wooden logs used to be burnt on Havan Kundas, and out of that logs, the ashes used to he used to distribute ashes. You see,
Okay.
and there was a lot of people of that area that time, and there was a queue of people who used to get relief, and he used to distribute ashes in small paper, and they used to get cured. All kind of uh, diseases used to get cured with those small pudiyas of ashes. He used to
Oh,
distribute those.
he was
He
a
was
realized
famous
man.
for
Yeah.
curing people with those Hamankund ashes.
Oh, that's so nice.
That's very interesting. My mother was a homeopathic doctor. She was a gold medalist of home. She used to practice before her marriage. She used to practice homeopathy those days in Lahore.
Okay.
And when they went there after their marriage there, they stayed there for a year or so. And my grandfather used to ask my mother to distribute these ashes to the people who are to be cured. You see, so he was famous for curing people with those ashes of those days. And those Havan Kunds are still there. There are 3, 4 Havan Kunds still there. You see, I got a lot of photographs of that. But that's interesting. When Doordarshan wanted to make a film on life, I asked them to please start shooting from there only. So the whole thing started from there. That's my childhood this thing. And then I don't know how things happen. I was a struggling painter in Delhi, and I used to after my doing my diploma in art, I started working outside, and I started doing teaching art to people, and then I was exhibiting and started selling things, and then I was doing small. Then art was not sold that time. It was very difficult to live on art. So I was doing advertising art, like I was doing posters, I was doing
Posters.
cover designs for people, this publishers, things like that. Then I was doing a lot of illustration for children books, children. So this is how I lived. I lived. I
Before
lived.
before
I lived. I
Khosa sir, Khosa sir, before we proceed further about your own life journey, I would like to tell us something about your father more, his days in Lahore, and also what about this photograph of Palladium Cinema, where the murals of your father have
Ah,
been displayed.
ah, ah. You see, when he was in Lahore, when I was in Srinagar, in those when Mahatma Gandhi was assassinated, he was there those days. So what he did is that he did a huge portrait of Mahatma Gandhi. There was a blackout in the whole city of Srinagar. So he did
Okay.
a huge portrait of Mahatma Gandhi with a lamp in his hand, and right hand with brush, a huge portrait of Mahatma Gandhi. It was famous. And then he exhibited that portrait of Mahatma Gandhi on palladium talkies,
Okay.
a huge. And then along with that, he exhibited his other paintings also, portrait of those leaders of those days. And this was his exhibition, and on a very big scale, and there were hundreds and lots of people looking at that exhibition on the walls of Palladium Takis.
Yeah, yeah.
This is some historical exhibition he did there, and he
Okay.
was with full of energy, and those days, you see, at that age. And Sheikh Abdullah, portrait of Sheikh Abdullah, portrait of Bakshi Ghulam Ahmad. I think not Sheikh Abdullah, I think.
Sheikh
Uh,
Saab.
Sheikh Kashmir.
Okay.
And he did lot of posters of those days. I still have those posters printed. And then he was he was collecting very information of those days. What is happening was Srinagar was in a very bad state that time because of Kabalis used to come there and a lot of
Kavali,
problems
okay.
were there. So he used to do a lot of posters for those uh,
For
Kashmir
that was
cultural friends he had joined. But
okay.
you see, the basic thing is that he did that portrait of Mahatma Gandhi, and that portrait was in his subconscious, and that is what happened. That he wanted to do something on Mahatma Gandhi in his life.
Okay.
After he came to Delhi, he joined Times of India. He was the art director of Times of India, but he left the job of Times of India, and then he collected all kind of materials like all kind of photographs of Mahatma Gandhi everywhere, anything, what is wherever Mahatma Gandhi's things are there, all kind of photographs he collected, and then he made a series and started working after we after he left Times of India.
Okay.
So. There were around 80 to 90 or 100 paintings he did. And there was series on the life of Mahatma Gandhi he did in realism. But you see, those days also, there used to be, there was a art mafia also, modern
Art
art mafia also, working all
syndicate.
together. So he was
Syndicate.
not allowed to sort of he was not, there was a lot of politics on art also. He was not allowed to exhibit his paintings, things like that. Then it
Hmm.
was Lal Bahadur Shastri who found that he is working. There's a man who's working and doing Mahatma Gandhi. So it was Lal Bahadur Shastri who asked him to exhibit these paintings and ordered Lalita Academy to give the space to exhibit the Mahatma Gandhi there. And he, while being a prime minister of the country, he inaugurated his works. I still have those photographs with me. Now,
Okay.
since I am in Himachal now, I don't have photographs here, but they're in my Delhi studio. So this is how it happened. He was a person who asked government of India
Hmm.
that he should be given a scholarship of 250 rupees. Used to be a big amount those days. 250 rupees per month, and those and he should, so that he carry on in painting Mahatma Gandhi. So immediately after that, in Tashkent, there was a meeting in Tashkent, and this the Lal Bahadur Shastri was no more, and immediately after that, when this 250 rupees of scholarship was stopped immediately
Oh,
after the death of Lal Bahadur Shastri. And then we used to live in Old Delhi those days. In Old Delhi, he did all these paintings, and in Old Delhi, almost all the Gandhian philosophers, all the Gandhian leaders had come to that. Even Bakshi Ghulam Muhammad was his friend, and he used to come there in that Old Delhi area to meet him, and he also helped him a little in those days. And all these leaders, even Morarji Desai, who has not seen, everybody has seen this. And it was inaugurated by many times during the centenary of Mahatma Gandhi. It was shown in many cities and many times, and they spent lakhs and lakhs of rupees on exhibiting his paintings, but his he was not given anything, a single penny.
oh,
So
very
all
sad.
this, but he kept on fighting that they should be preserved. These paintings should be preserved and kept in some Gandhi museum style like that. And the whole government of India made a kind of a kind of a committee to buy his paintings for the Gandhi Museum, but hardly. There used to be in the community. There were some modern artists also in that committee who never wanted him to come up like that. So hardly 8 to 10 paintings were bought. In that committee, there were few politicians, so like Dr. Karan Singh was also there in that committee. So anyway, 10 or 11 paintings were bought for about 30,000 rupees those days, really big amount. But then all the paintings were lying with me. I still have those paintings, and to maintain them is very difficult. They're huge works, and somebody from Bombay have tried to auction these paintings, and uh, 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 he did auction those paintings. Oceans of Bombay auctioned few of his paintings. Anyway, but a lot of works are still with me. And there was a huge work of a portrait of Jawaharlal Nehru, which was lying with me till now, you see. It was a
Oh,
lifelike portrait, life-size portrait, huge portrait. And it was very difficult for me to maintain these paintings. And particularly this was too big a work and very lifelike. So I met Dr. Karan Singh Monday. He met me somewhere in some art exhibition. I requested him that I want to donate this. So I donated it to Dr. Karan Singh, portrait of Jawaharlal Nehru, and they have kept it in Jawaharlal Nehru Museum in Teen Mukti House now. It's there. So like that, I have been donating his works and trying to sell few works like that. And there are lots of works which are still with me, and they are not in a good shape. And I want that. Uh, I now feel like donating them. I don't know where. Uh, uh, I don't know where. How there are some works with me. Maybe 20, 30, 40 works are still with me. So I like to
that's
donate them somewhere, and so that they are preserved and kept properly.
that's so
That's my.
wonderful.
uh,
That's
So it's very
and
difficult to sort of maintain those paintings. There are a lot of scratches, lot of problems are there. See, to keep painting,
you
you need to have lots of space to keep those paintings. Then my then my paintings, I have to
your own.
maintain my paintings also. Then my children, my daughter has become a painter. She has become a sculptor. So all this, you need big spaces, big things. Now you see, God has given us a little space in Dharamshala. So I made a little studio in Dharamshala. Then I have a space in Delhi also. So I shuttle between Dharamshala and Delhi.
Yes.
And
So let us know.
the
Let's
beautiful part is, yeah,
let's know
what did you
about
say? Huh?
let's know about your journey. Your
That's
father
what
was
I'm coming to that. You
figurativism
see,
and abstractism and
yeah,
metaphysics,
yeah, this is
for which
what
you are known.
happened.
Yeah.
You see, a painter starts his journey, what he sees outside. You see
Okay.
landscape, you see beauty outside, you start painting that. And by, when he becomes and mature, he starts looking in a different direction altogether. In my case, I don't know how it happened because my grandfather was a Swami, and I got a lot of photographs of his there, and then maybe some kind of sanskaras must have transferred in my system. So I was given a piece of land, and here in Himachal, and I live in Tapovan, in no place known as Tapovan in Himachal.
Tapovan. Tapovan.
Next to my house, we have a Swami Chinmanan ashram here.
Oh, wonderful.
So Swami Chinmanan used to live here, and we have a samadhi here, and it's a Gurukul where Upanishads and all kind of ancient texts are taught. So when I came here, I don't know how I came here. Somebody was after me that you buy this piece of land, buy this piece of land. So nobody can buy a piece of land in Himachal Pradesh. You need to
Yes,
be Himachali
native.
citizen.
Yeah.
Uh, so I don't know. People were after me. You are an artist. You should. We'll give you this land. This and the land was hardly for 15,000-16,000 rupees. So in those days, in 80, 84, 15,000-16,000 rupees used to be 15, 16 lakhs. It was a big amount, even more than that. So I don't know what happened. These people were after me and they gave me a piece of land in installments. You see? So I bought a piece of land. I gave them by and by money. So I didn't come here. Then when I came here, I found Swami Chinman ashram here. And then I took a piece of, I took a small house, mud house on rent in nearby this uh, Swami Chinman ashram, and went to the ashram, and I came to know the Swami Subodhanand used to be was there. So I had a lot of discussion with a lot of shastras and things like that. So I told him what I am doing. So I don't know. I was asked, put him lots and lots of questions about life as a whole, and he said, "Why don't you come and join my students classes and listen to me? Come tomorrow 7 o'clock in the morning." So I started going to his personal classes. His personal students were 18 students. They were 18 brahmacharis. They were taught their Upanishads, Vedas, and things like that. And they were taught Sanskrit also, whereas I didn't interest. I was not interested in listening to Sanskrit. But when I went there, and in the first class when I went into the class, the कौन सा text है वो? Brahma Sutra. Brahma Sutra was being taught there.
Brahm Sutra.
Brahma
Yeah.
Sutra is a text which is the highest text
Yes.
after many Upanishads. It is the last text which is taught to the students of Vedanta. So I was listening to those texts, and I used to become emotional, and I became so emotional listening to those. And then the life changed from there and started looking life very differently. I
Existentialism.
thought of
Existentialism.
doing
Yeah.
paintings inspired from those texts, like like there is a there in Upanishad and Vedas they say that introspection is important. Introspection. I did a painting on introspection,
Oh.
and then a lot of such ideas came to my system. Like a human being, they say human being has goes through three stages in 24 hours. One stage is Jagrat Avastha. That is that is the state of awakening, like I'm talking to you. It is Jagrat Avastha. Then there is the Sapna Avastha.
Sushupti.
When you
Swapna and
go in
Sushupti.
dream state, that's a dream state of dream. What
State of
happens
dream.
when you see things in the daytime, you go in the dream state. Then there's a Sushupti Avastha. The
Sushupti Avastha.
third state is Sushupti. Sushupti Avastha is the state of uh, total uh,
Dreamless.
total
Dreamless sleep.
sleep, deep sleep state.
Deep
In
sleep.
deep sleep state, what happens is that you are in totally dead, but you are conscious of your body, conscious of your body, but you are
Conscious.
dead, but you are conscious of your body. That's a deep sleep state. So everybody, what happens? Every day a man dies and he becomes awake, and again he dies. So in three stages, I did three paintings.
Oh.
So I did a painting on Sapnavastha, I did a painting Jagratavastha, I did a painting on deep sleep state, that is Sushupti Avastha. So this is how these ideas started coming to my system, you see. This painting I'm talking about is uh, uh, from physical state to the metaphysical state. You see, when you
Metaphysics.
meditate, what happens? You are in a physical state. Then, after meditation, what happens? You are lifted to the metaphysical state. So
Metaphysical.
I started doing paintings. What I call them is metaphysical paintings. You see, this is how I started. Like I was looking at these students here.
This is Pursha and Prakriti. Yeah.
If you see, uh, this is this is to do with this is transmutation from tree to human being and all that. Tree is also supposed to be a lively thing, living,
Right.
and we are part of. Without trees, we die. You see, this is part and parcel of the whole ecological system, which is taught in Upanishads. And then you see, what now? Now that I have come to the conclusion, and now what now scientists are doing, it has been done thousands and thousands years back by our rishis and munis,
By
and also
seeds.
inspired that now you see they're doing nothing. It has what has so much has happened about human being. What is human being? What warriors come? What is his purpose of life? All this
Astronomy,
has
purpose.
been explored long back, years, thousands of years back. Now these scientists are trying to do things on a very superficial level, but things have been explored. You see, so like that, my ideas, my thoughts came into my paintings. So I started living a life. You see, when you start living that kind of life, you imbibe things. You listen to the Upanishads, you listen to Vedas. I can't tell you. I can't sort of recite Upanishads poems or things like that. Upanishad stanzas are like that. I can't. But still, whatever I have been listening, you imbibe. It can goes to your system. Whatever there are what what our Veda says that
Subconscious state. Yeah.
whatever you see, it goes into your system. Whatever you listen, it goes to your system.
Forms an impression
Right?
there. Yeah.
Whatever you. So,
Sanskar.
like in the morning when you, there are a lot of people, my friends who buy newspaper. So they first thing look at the newspaper and they see this how many people died, what happened to the country and things like that. That goes in your system. They don't understand it. That goes into your system. So whatever I have been listening here from the text and from the lot
Upanishad.
of friends are my swamis and great intellectual swamis are my friends. You see, so I started imbibing. So the ideas and thoughts came to my system. Now this painting you're showing is this is life and death are two phases of wheel of time. This is
Right.
this I like to this is wheel of time. This painting is wheel of time.
Wheel of time. Yeah.
So there was a lady in Chinmay Mission. Her name was Somani Sharda Priya Nanda. Somani Sharda Priya Nanda was a great writer also. She wrote a lot. So I read her few sentences. On the basis of sentence, I got so inspired. So I did this wheel of time, this painting. So I would like to write read few lines. She says that life and death are the two phases of wheel of time.
Right.
Tied to the wheel by the cord of fate, I am tossed from one to the other and rolled along. The dreary sounds of life and the weary wails of death have tired me. Thirsting for peace and rest, I seek freedom from this. The wise masters say that in you is freedom, in you is solace. This is Wheel of Time. I did this painting. Now, this is a huge work I did. I was inspired by those writings of Sharda Priyananda. Now, this painting is with the Arun Puri of India Today.
Arun
He
Puri.
was
India Today.
Arun Puri. He owns this painting now. He's
It
it is
was
with
sold in
him now.
auction. It was an
Yeah.
auction. Auction.
No, no, no. He took it
Gift.
from me. Yeah. He
Okay.
took it from me.
Puris are
So
very,
in my last exhibition,
very
he
business-like.
bought
Yeah.
it. Yeah. So the like these ideas are very interesting. Uh, like there was a lot of students here. Now this painting is to do with Purish and Prakriti,
Purusha
and
Prakriti.
you see there's a huge there's a
Shiva and
there's a
Shakti.
huge body in the background.
Yes.
If you see that there's a head, there's a two shoulders of a human being behind
Yes.
these two figures, and the vibrations of power coming from those entering to these Purushan Prakriti. This I feel is one of my best works, and the energy the energy comes out of that power behind you, which is working, goes to the Purushan Prakriti, and then that energy, because of this energy, we live. We have that. We're living because of the energy of an energy of supernatural power which is behind working us. So that's what I have been trying to do. So now I come back to these students who have now become Swamis. Now these students are Swamis all over many places in India and other
Okay.
countries. So I saw these students those days doing their homework, and they were given they used to be given homework. So they were in fields and doing homework. While doing homework, they were looking at material world also. They were looking at girls also, things like that. And then they were doing homework also. So I did a huge work. I did a huge painting that a brahmachari, a brahmachari. There's a lot of clouds in the paintings. A brahmachari in the center, hanging in the center, his his half body coming out of the clouds, looking at sky, giving flowers to the sky, and this half body going down towards the material world. That means
Oh,
the whole thing was that the material world is pulling him down, and the other side is pulling him up. So
up.
it's
Yeah.
uh, so it's
There's
between
an
the two.
oxymoron.
So
There's a
this was
struggle.
huge work I did, and this is with now. That's with I think with Dalmias now. So, so, so I have been doing these kind of works. So
What and what does this depict? What is
now this is time and space.
time and space? Oh,
Uh, it's a flight with time and space. It's a flight, inner flight. You see, a flight, a flight, a flight with material burdens. A
okay.
flight. I call it time and space, beyond time and space.
Beyond time and space.
Uh, so there are paintings which I don't remember the captions, but I tried to do. I remember only few works with captions of only few works, not huge works. Now they are also this is to do with reminiscences. You see, you go back.
Reminiscence.
Reminiscences. This is
Okay.
reminiscences. So this is how things happen to an artist. So now I would like to.
Yes,
I, I,
please.
I, I was inspired by. I was inspired by a text. A text is Yoga Vashishta.
Yoga Vishishta.
So in Yoga Vashishta, uh, it says that life is a paradox. Uh,
Life is a
what
paradox.
we what we want, we do not get. This is
Hmm.
what Yoga Vasishtha says. What we get, we cannot possess. What we possess, we cannot enjoy. What we enjoy, what we enjoy, does not give us permanent satisfaction. The same, this seems to be a universal feature. The healthy have the fear of disease. The wealthy of thieves and robbers.
Hmm.
The socially prominent people have a fear of dishonor. The learned of learned of have the learned of rivals and virtuous of slender. The human being is born of crying. Human being is born crying, lives complaining, and dies disappointed. This is what he says. So now, with these kind of lines, I to express them is something very difficult. So I have created a method of working, which I like to say that what happens that I don't my paintings are never preconceived. They look
Hmm.
preconceived, like you draw on paper first, then
Spontaneous.
then you copy that, then you enlarge that, and things like that. You preconceive things, decide what you are going to do, what colors you have to go. My way is very different. I've created a method of working that I destroy a flat surface of canvas. I do lot of I destroy the canvas with lot of
Destroy.
lines, colors. I just destroy it, and then I put it on an easel. Then I sit and meditate on that.
Oh,
What I just meditate and look at that for hours. Then I started looking the images and those lines and scribbles. So
inner
I
higher
developed those
self
images.
system develop.
Huh, I developed those images, and what happens is that images come from a self, my inside world. You see, there is it started a
There's somewhere
relationship
within.
started.
Yeah.
A relationship starts from subconscious world to the canvas.
Subconscious.
Huh? There is two, my subconscious and the canvas, the images of canvas and my subconscious. They got relationship. I go on developing that relationship on the canvas.
That's
So
lovely.
what happens? And emerges, and the monumental images come out of the canvas. And then I feel that 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 particular feeling which has come from my system, from my inside, has gone into the canvas, and that means then I title it because I had it was not preconceived. Now I feel that this feeling has come out of falana Upanishad ideas of Upanishad, which is
Oh,
which I have imbibed sometime while listening to Upanishad,
it has
and
gone
that
into
ideas
your
come on that on
subconscious
the canvas.
mind and then it is
Uh,
reproduced
uh,
as a
subconscious mind.
reflex. Yeah.
So now listen to that. Now I painted a painting the same way I paint a painting. Ideas come on the canvas. So human being has two personalities. One is that one is drashta and one is bhokta. So a human being it
Witness.
says Mundukopanishad. It's in Mundukopanishad. It says
Munduk.
that a
Witness.
human being has two birds inside him.
Yeah.
He's a tree. He's like a tree. Human being is like a tree. He has two birds on the tree. That means there are two birds inside him. One is bhokta, one is drashta. So, like, like you do something bad, like you start taking whiskey or you take drinks, then
Yeah.
you see that this is bad. That means you are Trishta. That time you are Trishta. You see that this is bad. But at the same time, you are Bhokta also, you are drinking. So two birds inside you is one is Drashta, one is Bhokta. So this is in Mundaka Upanishad. I love this. Then I created a painting. I
Hmm.
didn't create consciously. It came from those scribblings.
Those imageries developed.
Huh. This. Then I thought, oh, no, this is an idea which I must have imbibed from while listening to the Mundaka Upanishad. So this is what happens to an artist.
Your paintings are have the private connoisseurs in America, in Canada, in England, in Singapore, in Hong Kong, and all other places. They have bought your paintings. Do they buy it in auction, or I mean, they are gifted to them
No,
for popular? Yeah.
actually, there are both ways. You see,
Okay.
you are not you don't come to that stage in auction stage. It's very later stage. In
Okay.
the beginning, what happens? You have to sell your works through different galleries or different people in the beginning. But at auction stage is later stage. My paintings are auctioned on a very later stage. But in the beginning, since I wanted money, so I've been selling paintings. I've been exhibiting, and people have been buying my works. Uh, uh, and now I feel that I have uh, I have lost a lot of my good works on a very meager prices I've been selling long back
Okay.
because that time was a time when I had to survive. So most of my very good works have gone on a low price, very low price. It is on a very later stage. My paintings are being auctioned. Not every time, but sometimes they are being auctioned. Not every time.
Okay.
So it's like that. But most of the paintings are gone on a very through galleries, through in between people. There are a lot of people who do this and take their commission and sell the works. So my paintings are all over because of that. Also because I've been exhibiting in group shows and things like that. Like there used to be a gallery in Dubai that they used to come and buy a painting from me and then sell the painting for 4 times, 6 times there. So like that. So
That's so wonderful.
life is like that. In fact, so now I am quite comfortable. I'm uh, trying to uh, go ahead now and work further. Uh,
Tell us something. I heard that you were very smitten by the seeing at first time Van Gogh's paintings. Vincent Van Gogh's paintings. You saw somewhere where you were on a tour, and it
no,
influenced.
there are a lot. I love those works because what happens is that you can immediately see a work of art which has been while working on a canvas, whether the artist's work is genuine or not, you can see that immediately. A trained eye can see that, like me. So what happens is that I feel that I have come to this conclusion that if you are working on a canvas with great involvement
Okay.
and great involvement and great intensity, what happens is that the energies get transformed into the work of art. This is what I have come to the conclusion.
Okay. Your picture is gone. Kindly rejoin again. खोसा साहब, you're disconnected. You're disconnected. Kindly join again. You're disconnected. Hello. You're disconnected. Kindly join again on the same link. Hello. You're disconnected. Yeah. उसी लिंक पे दोबारा से ज्वाइन करिए. हाँ खोसा साहब, काइंडली ज्वाइन ऑन द सेम लिंक ना विच आई हैव ऑलरेडी सेंड. यू आर डिस्कनेक्टेड. आप डिस्कनेक्ट हो गए. हेलो. दोबारा से उसी लिंक पे वापस आइए. उसी लिंक से ज्वाइन करिए. I think he got disconnected somewhere, and there is some audio problem. So this, I think yeah, he has come back again. I don't know whether there's some situation there, and he's not been able to come. I'll just try it again. हाँ खोजा साहब, इट्स नॉट कोई वो आपका वीडियो नहीं आ रहा है. मुझे लगता है आप दोबारा डिस्कनेक्ट करके एक बार फिर से योर वीडियो इज नॉट कमिंग अगेन. आई मीन यू आर डिस्कनेक्टेड. यू डिस्कनेक्ट. हेलो खोसा साहब, this is disconnect. Your video is not coming. Kindly disconnect it and connect again. Hello. I think there is a situation over there. It was a very wonderful session with him, although we have a very big audio problem at his on his end. But certainly, had it not been there, but still, we have learned a lot about the philosophy, his searching for an inquisitivity for, I mean, looking at this higher self, and then reflecting spontaneity into his paintings, which are of very great demand across the globe. That is something which is great about him. I think he has some technical snag over there. That's unfortunately he's in Himachal hills. I don't know what to do. He's an old man, and I need to. Yes, probably he will come again. He's gone there. So I think this was a great session, and I hope that we'll have some more important aspects of his life, although most of it is already elaborated. But then again, certain important aspects he wants to convey. So that will be recorded here in the archival library and will remain. There was a documentary made on his life by Doordarshan, and it was in the national channel and the Prasar Bharati, and it is very very well explained by the commentator and the famous art critic Vatsiani. And it's a beautiful film about its exploration. But I think in today's interview he opened up much better, and he made us understand the complete the complete steps and the ways he gradually grew and evolved, and went deeper into the Vedic sciences, explored the Vedic sciences and understood it, and slowly, gradually, those things came in and reflected back in his art. I don't know, he's not connecting again. There is some situation. Hello? हेलो. हाँ आवा आया. खोसा साहब, दोबारा कनेक्ट करिए ना आप एक बार. हाँ, काइंडली कनेक्ट अगेन. हेलो खोसा साहब. ओके ओके, आप उसी उस पे इसी 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 जो लिंक से कनेक्ट करिए. ये जो लिंक भेजा है. हाँ, लेकिन आपके पास लिंक है ना, उस पे ये लिंक जा रहा है आपका, ये लिंक वहां से कॉपी करके दोबारा भेजिए, या मुझे। ओके। Hi. I mean, he's very active. Probably he's in his mid 80s and still so dynamic. So the art has kept him fresh, and he stays with his life partner over there. And he has a studio there, a beautiful studio, and that is a place from where he got enlightenment, and probably it was also in his blood because Swami Shambhunath ji had gone to this Karnataka, and Himpi. There is a statue of Himpi, his grandfather, Swami Shambhunath ji, and he was deeply into the meditation, and probably somewhere down the line, these things are, remotely and mysteriously connected. Now I don't understand how to make it. There's no one over there. I'll just put his pictures till the time. His father, Somnath Khosa Sahab, about which was talking. His father's paintings about Gandhi, and his own into you know, the magazine, one of the famous reviewing magazine, you know, Tamino, his presentation there. His father's painting on the Gandhiji. He was very much into Gandhi's life and philosophy. And then we have his own photograph. I don't know with whom. It is in some art exhibition. It is somewhere. It is the. It is somewhere in this playing with the nature. I don't know. There's nobody there to help them. Nobody tech savvy over there. So I think he's finding a difficulty now. What can be done from such a distance? His paintings are so wonderful. They're so fascinating. There's a deep sense of higher self, higher realization, higher elements, post elements, which he has probably learned or experienced. I don't know. What to do now. For the time being, we can play music. I hope you join soon. Caminos, great magazine, international reading magazine, been published from London. Towards Unknown, great international reviewers have critics have reviewed his artwork. This is the Palladium Theatre with the adornings of his father. This is the studio in Dhamchala where he stays in Himachal. He works there in his grandfather, Shambhunath, Swami Shambhunath. His statue is there. I think it will not be possible to call him again, then we will conclude part second. हाँ खोसा साहब ये कनेक्ट नहीं हो रहा आपका नहीं अच्छा कोई इशू नहीं है लेट्स डू वन थिंग लेट अस क्लोज इट फॉर टुडे वी विल डू पार्ट 2 विद यू है फाइनल ओके बिकॉज़ दैट थैंक यू थैंक्स अ लॉट थैंक यू so I think there's a situation over there he's in a hill and there are problems over there so I would like to conclude today's program you know and I hope you this was very interesting program so it doesn't matter sometimes such things happen he is already in a place where he's on a mountain hill and in his studio and probably something has happened there there's nobody else he and his wife there's no youngster over there to tell them how to approach it so let's do it let's close it for today and we'll have part 2 program with Kashmiri Khosa sahab so that's a promise with you and let's close it for today with a good note with a happy note whatever we have learned from Khosa sahab so I'll just close with the beautiful note from Sahir Ludhianvi Sahab, one of my favorite poet of the subcontinent. रंगो नस्ल ज़ात और मजहब रंगो नस्ल ज़ात और मजहब जो भी है आदमी से कमतर है रंगो नस्ल ज़ात और मजहब जो भी है आदमी से कमतर है इस हकीकत को तुम भी मेरी तरह मान जाओ तो कोई बात बने नफरतों के जहां में हमको प्यार की बस्तियां बसानी हैं नफरतों के जहां में हमको प्यार की बस्तियां बसानी है दूर रहना कोई कमाल नहीं पास आओ तो कोई बात बने थैंक यू वेरी मच इट वाज सो डिलाइट टू हैव once again a great rendezvous with the esteemed viewers of Shitanath Conversations, learned, erudite, quality conscious supporters and admirers and Shitanath Conversations. Once again, I'm indebted. Thanks a lot for gluing into today's program. We'll have part 2 of Kashmiri Khosa, and I think we'll enjoy that part also. Thank you very much. Good night. Goodbye.